Hi everyone, trust we're all doing great. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Betty, and in today's tutorial we are going to be making this beautiful sunflower handbag, or you can call it sunflower grand square handbag. So for this tutorial I'm going to be using my leftover yarn that I've used before, so I'm going to be reusing it again for this tutorial. And if this is your first time you coming across my videos, please do not forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Alright, like I said before, I'm going to be reusing my yarn, and I'm going to use 4 different colors. This one, that is dark green, then I have pink, that is shouting pink, then I have this light pink, then I have cream. And for the hook, I'm using 3.0 millimeter hook, and I'll need my scissors, and yeah, that's what I'll need for now. So what I'm going to do is to tangle this or flog this and start my work. So to start my work, I'll start with a knot, and this is how I make my knots, like this. And next I'll chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Make sure they are not tight, and 5. So you go inside the last stitch or the last chain and slip stitch like this to make a magic ring. All right, so here we have our magic ring. Then next it will be chain 2, 1 and 2, then make a double crochet inside that magic ring like this. Okay, next yarn over, insert your hook, grab your yarn, pass through, then yarn over, pass through 2, yarn over, pass through 2, and there we have our double crochet. So you continue with your double crochets until you get a total of 16 double crochets. Then I'll meet you with your 16 double crochets in the magic ring. Alright, so here I am with my 16 double crochets in the magic ring, and the next thing it is to slip stitch on top of that chain 2 space. But before you slip stitch, remember we are attaching another different color of yarn, so go ahead and attach your different color of yarn, the one I'm doing like this, like that. Then pass your loop inside like this. That's how I attach my yarn. So after, chain 1 and tighten it, then go ahead and chain 2. So here after chaining 2, we are introducing another new thing. Yarn over, insert your hook, grab your yarn and leave it open. Yarn over, insert your hook, grab the loop and pull it and leave it open. Yarn over, insert your hook, pull the loop and leave it open. So we have 3 double crochets in the same place, but they are open. Then yarn over and pass through all of them and leave 2 loops on the hook. Then yarn over and pass through those 2. Then after you chain 2. All right, let's do it again. Yarn over, insert your hook in the next stitch, grab your yarn, pass through, yarn over, insert your hook again in that same space, grab your yarn, pass through, yarn over, insert your hook in that same space, grab your yarn and pass through. Then after yarn over and pass through all of them and leave 2 loops like this. There are 2 loops. Then after yarn over and pass through those 2, then next you chain 2. All right, so next you yarn over again, go to the next stitch, insert your hook, pull your loop, yarn over in that same space, insert your hook and pull the loop, yarn over, insert your hook in that same space and pull the loop like this. Then you yarn over and pass through all of them and leave 2 loops on the hook like this. Then after you yarn over and pass through those 2, then next you chain 2, and this is what you're going to be doing all around until you come back to the end of this row. Alright, so I'm back and I have a set of 15, and remember we started with the 16 double crochet, so we have to make a total of 16. So you chain 2, and in that last stitch here, this place here, you make your last set of 3 double crochets together like this. Then pass through all and leave 2 on the loop, then yarn over and pass through that 2, then chain 2. Always chain 2 before you slip stitch. So to slip stitch we are changing another yarn, and that is the another color. So go ahead and attach another color that you want to chain to. So this is how I attach my yarn, like this. So go ahead and attach your yarn like this, like that. Then after you chain 1 and tighten your work. Okay, like this. Later we'll cut off these yarns. So after tightening your work, and this is how our work is looking. So we'll start another step, that is yarn, chain 3, 1, 2 and 3. So the reason we are chaining 3 because we want to start working with a treble crochet. So yarn over twice like this. Okay, 1, 2, 3. You have 3 loops on the hook. Then go in that first chain 2 space and make your first treble crochet. And in this treble crochet we're going to leave 2 loops on the hook like this. Then again yarn over twice. So you'll be having 4 loops on the hook. Then inside your hook, grab your yarn, pass through, yarn over, pass through 2, and yarn over, pass through 2 like this. Then leave those 3 loops on the hook like this. Then next you yarn over twice, and you have 5 loops on the hook like this. So inside your hook, in that same space, grab your yarn, then yarn over, pass through 2, yarn over, pass through 2, so and yarn over, pass through all of 4 loops together like this. And here we have our first cluster of a treble crochet. So next you go to the next chain 2 space again and do the same, yarn over twice, insert your hook in that next chain 2 space and grab your yarn, pass through like this, yarn over, pass through 2, and yarn over, pass through 2, and make sure I leave these 2 loops on the hook. Then yarn over twice to make 4 loops on the hook. Inside your hook, grab your yarn, then yarn over, pass through 2, yarn over, and pass through 2. Then here we have 3 loops on the hook. Go ahead, yarn over twice like this. You have 5 loops on the hook. Then inside your hook, grab your yarn, then yarn over, pass through 2, yarn over, pass through 2, then yarn over and pass through all these 4 loops like this. And here we have our second cluster of treble crochets. So go ahead and do this. After you chain 2 and go to the next chain 2 space and do the same. So continue with this, then I'll meet you at the end of the row. Alright, so here I am. I'm at the end of the row, and this is how our work is looking. So the next thing I will do is to put my last cluster. I've chained 2 already. So yarn over twice, go on this last chain 2 space and make your last cluster like this. So next to be slip stitch like this. Don't mind about folding, it will surely go back when we go to our next row. It will go back, so even if it's folding, just allow it. When you start your next row, it will go back to flat. Okay, so I'm attaching my last curl of yarn, and this is how I do it, like this. So go ahead and attach your curl of yarn, your another new curl of yarn, and chain 1, then tighten it. So next, chain 3, because we are still working with our treble crochets. Go to that first chain 2 space here and make your first treble crochet. And remember your treble crochet, yarn over twice, inside your hook, grab your yarn over, pass through 2, yarn over, pass through 2, and here now we are passing through this last 2 like this to make it a complete treble crochet. Okay, yarn over twice in that same space, inside your hook, grab your yarn over, pass through 2, then yarn over, pass through 2, then yarn over, pass through 2. We have 2 treble crochets in the same space. Next is another treble crochet, that is yarn over twice, yarn over twice, go in that same space with another treble crochet like this, like this. So we have 3 treble crochets in the same space. Next you chain 2, then under that same space make another treble crochet like this. Again another treble crochet in that same space like this. Then that same space, the last treble crochet, and here we have 3 treble crochets in the same space, chain 2 and another 3 treble crochets, which is a shell, right? So I've made a shell of treble crochet. So next I'll chain 2, then in that and yarn over twice because I'm using treble crochets. In that next chain 2 space, I'll make another treble crochet like this, like that. In that same space, another treble crochet, in that same space, another treble crochet like this. And here I have 3 treble crochets in the same space. Next, I'll chain 2, go to the next chain 2 space and make another treble crochet. Here, make your first treble crochet, in that same space, another treble crochet, and in that same space, another treble crochet. Right? Okay. Next is chain 2, go to the next chain 2 space here, and make your 3 treble crochets in the same space. And this is our first treble crochet, and again another treble crochet, and again our last treble crochet, and we have 3 treble crochets in the same space. All right, so you can see it's becoming flat. All right, that's why I said don't worry, even if it folds, to still go back. Okay, so by the time we finish this row, it will be flat. Okay, so I have a shell, then 3 treble crochets in the same space. That is 1 2 3 spaces of 3 treble crochets. So next I'll make another shell. So to make a shell, I'll chain 2, then yarn over twice. In the next chain 2 space, I'll make my first treble crochet like this, and again that same space, another treble crochet. Those are 2, and in that same space, I'll make another treble crochet, which is the 3rd, like this. Then I'll chain 2, and in that same space, I'll make another treble crochet like this. Okay, then that same space, another treble crochet, and in that same space, another last treble crochet. And here I have 3 treble crochets in the same space, chain 2, and 3 treble crochets in the same space, which is a shell of treble crochets. So you will continue with this. Next it will be 3 treble crochets in the same space, then again 3 treble crochets in the same space, then again 3 treble crochets in the same space. Then in the 4th, it will be a shell, which is 3 treble crochets, chain 2, and 3 treble crochets. And that is what you're going to continue with until you get back to the end of the row. Then I'll meet you there. Alright, so I'm at the end of the row, and this is how our work is looking. It has gone back to be flat. Alright, so I hope yours is like this, and this is what you're going to do until you get a total of 13 these sunflowers. Make a total of 13 of them, and I'll meet you there and show you what to do next. So when you're done with the row, next thing is to chain 2 and slip stitch your work like this. Then after slip stitching, because we are not attaching another yarn, this is our last yarn, then you chain 1 and cut off your yarn, and you will be done with your grand. So this is what I said, we'll cut off our yarn after. So go ahead and cut your yarn. These are the yarns we have been using to attach like this. After cutting them, make sure you tighten them. Remember they are two, the one you joined and the one you left when you were going. So you make that 2 and tie them together like this, like that. Go to the next row, that this side and this side, and tie them together. Make sure they are tight like this. Next is the same thing. Make sure you tighten them like this. So after tightening them, you cut them off, and yeah, you'll be done with your first sunflower. And you're going to go ahead and do the same to the rest. Yeah, and this is how our grand is. So nice, so beautiful. You can call it a grand or a sunflower grand square. Okay, so go ahead and do the rest, then I'll meet you and show you how many I made, but a total is 13. So I've made 3 so far, and yeah, I want to continue and get my 10 to make it 13. So go ahead and make a total of 13, then I'll show you what to do next. Alright, so I'm back with my 13 sunflowers, and this is how they are looking. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 and 13. So I have 13. I hope you have your 13 too, and this is what how they are looking. They are so nice, so pretty. Okay, so I hope you have your 13. And now the next thing we are going to do now is to arrange them. So I'm going to arrange them so that it will be easier for you to understand how to sew them or how to join them together. So these shells where there's 3 treble crochets, chain 2, 3 treble crochets in the same space is a shell. So make sure you make your shells like this, like that. So go ahead and again arrange them the way I'm arranging them, like this. Put a shell together to the shell like this. Okay, so we have 2 shells together here. Okay, so next is here we have 2, so the second row it will be 3, and to put those 3, this is what you're going to follow. Put a shell in the middle to join to the other shell like this. Okay, so these 2 we are going to attach another sunflower and a shell with a shell. So I'm putting this shell, this one, I'm putting it to be close to the end of the other ones. I hope you see what I'm doing together. So I've put these 2 shells together, and now I'm making another same thing on the other side, like this. So I've joined two shells together plus the other to make it 3. So the first row is 2, the second row is 3. Then the third row, I'm going to put our ground in the middle. So put it in the middle like this, okay? And here we have to have 2. So the second one will be in the middle here. Make sure that the shell goes inside the other shell on top, like this. Like you put a shell like that. So the third row is 2. The first row is 2, second row is 3, then third row is 2, then the fourth row is 1, and make sure that 1 goes in the middle like this, like that. So next I'm going to make 2, and to make 2 I'm going to arrange it like this. So follow the way I'm doing, and this is what you're going to do. It will be easier for you to do what? To sew your bag. So make sure you put your shells together. Join them together like that. Then the fifth row is 2. Then the sixth row is 1. Alright, so we are going to the last row. The last row will make 2. So always remember you're putting the shells together. Okay, so here we have to put a shell like this. I hope you see what I'm doing, like that. Then the same thing this side too. I'm looking for the shells, and this is where I'm going to put my last sunflower like this. Okay, so follow this pattern. So this is how I arrange them. The first row I made 2, and the second row is 3, then third is 2, then fourth is 1, fifth is 2, sixth is 1, and 7 is 2, and the total is 13 altogether. So make sure you arrange them like this. Then after arranging them, it will be easier for you to sew your bag. Okay, so what I will help you again is to join them with I can't use stitch marker. Go ahead, get some yarn, some extra yarn that you're not using, and cut them into pieces. Let's use those yarns like stitch markers to help us tie it so that it will be easier. All right, so for people that don't know how to weave in, so in case you want to weave in your ends before you sew them, this is how you're going to do. Keep slip stitching until you get to the chain 2 space, like this. When you get to chain 2 space, you slip stitch, chain 1, and pull your yarn through, then you cut your yarn, okay, like this, then to be okay like that. So this is how you weave in your ends. If you want to weave in before you sew it, so go ahead and do that, then arrange them back. Okay, if you can weave in after sewing, it's okay. You can still leave it, weave in, then after you cut your yarn off. So I just wanted to show you before you weave in. So go ahead and do this. Weave in your ends, then I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so this is where our work was, and I told us to get some yarn, some extra yarn that we are going to use to tie our work. that will help us like stitch markers. So go ahead, grab this shell and the other end and this end, okay, all together like this, and tie them together. That is 3 sides together. This side, those are 3 sunflowers together that we have joined, okay, like this. Then come here again, join these 3 together, like this. And tie it. Make sure it is very tight because you're going to sew them. Next, go to this side again and join these 3 sides together. We are joining in the shells. Use the shells to join, all right? Hold the shells together, then join them like this. And this is what you're going to mark all around until you finish all your work. Okay, so I'm done tying my work and this is how it is looking. Make sure you have the same thing like this. And after doing so, it will be very easier for you to sew them. So go ahead and do this. After doing this, what you're going to do is to attach your yarn here. After attaching, you're going to sew with a single crochet. Come here, sew, come here, sew, come here, and come back there. Then cut off your yarn. From there again, attach your yarn again here. Then sew, come in this side, go up, then go back this side and come back to where you started. Then cut off your yarn again, attach it here. Alright, then sew, come here, sew, go back and go this side, then come back to where you started. Then after, you're going to join these sides too, like that. Then next, you're going to attach here and go, or you attach from down here, go in the middle and get back to the end. And that's what you're going to do, and it will be very easier for you because you've already marked your work. Alright, to sew this work, we are going to make a single crochet and it will be easier for us. So go ahead and do this. Alright, the reason why I wanted us to use the yarn, because you can fold it, you can carry it, you can do whatever you want to do with it, as long as the yarn you used is tight. Yeah, so if you've been with us since and you've not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do not forget to subscribe. I think this is the best time for you to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up, please, to support me. Okay, so let's continue with our work. So next I will attach my yarn, that is the yarn we've been using at the first. And I said to first start the work, we're going to attach it from here in these 3 shells. Join these 3 shells together and attach your yarn. Okay, like this. All right. So here I have my 3 shells together. All right. So you can remove this yellow one because you're done using it. Next is to chain 1 and tightening your work. You can go in again twice to make it tight. So here I'm chaining inside that shell, this 2 shell, this side and the other side. I'm joining them together with a single crochet twice like this. So I've made a shell so tight, and next I'll go in the first stitch with a single crochet. Then next I'll go to the next with a single crochet. Next is that chain two space. I'll go inside that chain two space with the 2 single crochets like this. Then next I'll go to the next with a single crochet. Next stitch, I'm joining both sides, this stitch and the other stitch. So make sure you're grabbing, if it is chain two space, make sure there are 2 chain two spaces together. If it is a treble crochet, that treble crochet has to go with a treble crochet. Okay, so don't skip any stitch on both sides. So go ahead and use this method. Where there's chain two space, you make 2 single crochets, like now here, 1 and 2. Then again you will continue like this with your single crochets. On top of 3 treble crochets, you make 3 single crochets. Then on top of chain two space, it is 2 single crochets like that. Then here we have our 3 treble crochets. That is 1. This is 2. Then the third one like that. Then here is chain two space, and we will make 2 single crochets in chain two space like this. And this is what you're going to do all around until you come back to where you started your row. Remember, we are going from here. I'll join here to here and here to here, then bring it back here, here and here. So go ahead and do that, then I'll meet you when you're done with these 4 shells. All right, so to turn again, you go inside that same stitch and turn your work and still make two single crochets in that chain two space. So there's still a shell this side, so make 2 single crochets under that chain two space. Then after, continue with your single crochets and follow how I showed you how you're going to sew them until you finish everything. Then I'll meet you and show you how mine looks. All right, here I am, and I went ahead and sewed it. I started from here, from down here, went here, 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 and come back. I attach my yarn, go, 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 and come back. Then I attach my yarn, go, 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 and come back. Attach my yarn, go, go, attach my yarn, go, and go. So follow this method and do something like this. Then after, we have 7 rows. So in the middle of 7 row, we have our 1 sunflower, and that is going to be our middle part here. So this is our middle part. Okay, so when you get here, you're going to turn your work and fold it like this. Okay, like this. So now we have our bag already. So after folding your work, here you have to be very careful and understand what I'm doing. So after folding it like this, take this part here. So, okay. So now we are going to sew this part because it's still open to attach it to this side. Okay. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to take this part and attach it with this shell like this. You can use any stitch marker to mark it so that it will be easier for you. So here I can put a stitch marker because I know what to do now. So this is where you're going to put in exactly in the middle of those shells. This is where it is going to be. You put your shell in the middle of the shells, and when you're sewing it, you're going to start from there like this, where I'm putting another stitch marker like that. This is where you're going to start with your single crochets here. Go with your single crochets to here, then come back with your single crochets to down here like this, and you will be done with this side. And it's the same thing you're going to make, or you're going to do on this other side like this. You put your stitch marker too like this, then you attach your yarn here and sew it like the same thing we did on that other side. If there's any question, if you didn't understand it, you can still write it down in the comments section, and you tell me next what you would like us to make next, and I'll be glad to respond and to deliver, because my job here is to deliver. Okay, yeah. So now I went ahead and did it, and this is how our bag looks like. I love the colors, I love everything on this bag. So I went ahead and made the single crochets on the other side, and here we are going to do the same thing like we did on the other side. All right, so you will attach your yarn now. This is our top, and this is how it looks inside. It's very nice and lovely. Okay, so I'm going to attach my yarn and start making my single crochets. All right, so I have my yarn that I was using before. There's no need of attaching another yarn. I'll just continue with this. So this is the first is the chain to space here. No, it is the 3 treble crochets. So after, I'll go to the chain to space and I'll make 2 single crochets. Then on top of 3 treble crochets, I'll make 3 single crochets, and you continue with this. Then in chain to space, you'll make 2 single crochets. You're going to follow the same method you used when you were sewing your bag or you were joining your sunflowers. It's the same method you're going to use, and I will get you at the chain, at the shell side, which is here in the middle here. So this is our chain 2 space, and here I'll make my single crochet on top. It's very tight. Okay, then here and here. So this is my shell. This is my shell, and in my shell here I'm going to make 4 single crochets in the same space. That's 1, 2, and 3. Then the last one, 4. So I have 4 single crochets in the same space, and this is where our handle is going to, I'm going to make, is going to be. So you will continue with this until you get to the other side, and when you get to the other side you're going to do the same. So I'm at the middle of my work. I just wanted to show you how I'll cross to the other side. I'll go here with a single crochet, then the same space another single crochet. So this is the middle. In the middle I'll just go on top and make a single crochet, then that same space another single crochet, then I'll go back to the other side. Okay, and that is chain to space, where I'll go inside there with the 2 single crochets and continue with my single crochets until I get to my shell. That is the middle part of this row. That is chain to space. I'll make 2 single crochets. This is the shell. All right, so I'm at the shell, and in the shell I said in the shell you make 4 single crochets, 2, 3 and 4, like that. Then go back to the end if this was your end. If not, go back around and do the same to the other side. Then I will get you when you're done with your work. Alright, so I'm at the end of my row, and I want to show you how to finish up your work so that everything will be uniform. This is how I'm going to finish up my row. Go on top of those single crochets and make a single crochet, like 4 to 5. Then the last you're going to just slip stitch like this and cut off your yarn. And this will be the end of our work here, like that. So this is how our work is looking. Okay, so the next thing you are going to do is to make the arms or the handles of the bag. And yeah, all right, so I went ahead and made one hand or one arm, one handle. All right, so this is what I made with some small design on it, like this. You can do the same with me. You can just make your simple design, something nice for you. Okay, so go to your shell space here where we made 4 single crochets in the same space, and go before the shell. There's 3 treble crochets, so go in the second treble crochet, and this side too you stop at the second treble crochet and attach of that single crochet. I hope you get it. Attach your yarn on top of the single crochet that is in the second treble crochet in your shell, like this. Then chain 2. Next, make your double crochet now. Next is another double crochet. Next is your double crochet. Next is your double crochet, and next is your double crochet. So from this second to the other second treble crochet, we have to have a total of 6 double crochets. So make sure you have a total of 6 double crochets. Then chain 2, turn your work. In this first stitch here, you're going to go inside there with the double crochet. Next is another double crochet. Next is another double crochet, and you continue with your double crochets until you get to the end of that row, and make sure you still have 6 double crochets, and this is our last double crochet. Like that. Chain 2, turn your work, go in this first stitch with the double crochet, go to the next with a double crochet, and this is what you're going to repeat all around until you get a total of 14 rows of double crochet. Alright, so I'm here with a total of 14 rows of double crochets, and now the next thing I'm going to do is to attach another curl of yarn to make this design here, this thing here. Alright, so go ahead, grab your yarn. So to attach my yarn, I'll make a knot, and here I have to lose it and leave 2 loops on my hook like this. So I'll put these 2 loops on my hook like this, and I'll use the other different color of yarn to pass through them, then chain 1 and tighten my work. Then next I'll chain 2, turn my work. In under this first stitch, I'll make my first double crochet. Next is another double crochet, and I'll go with the double crochets until I get to the end of the row. Alright, so I have my 6 double crochets. I'll chain 2. Here I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook in the first stitch, grab the yarn and leave it open. The same thing, grab your yarn and leave it open until I have a total of 6 double crochets together like this. The same thing we did before. Okay, then yarn over and pass through all of them once. Then chain 1. Alright, tighten it, then chain 2 again. 1, 2. Turn your work and slip stitch on top of that chain 1 space like this. Then chain 1, turn your work and yarn over and make your double crochets in that space. So make your 6 double crochets in that same space like this. Then next is to slip stitch on top of that space like this. So here we have this, then chain 2, turn your work and start making your double crochets on top of those stitches like this, and make sure at the end you have to have your 6 double crochets back like that. So next we chain 2 and turn our work and start making our double crochets again, and you continue with this until you get a total of 6 rows. Then I'll meet you there. Alright, so I'm here with a total of 6 rows. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 6. So I have a total of 6, and what I want to do is to put this second design. This was the first, and now the second one. So the second one, you chain 2 and turn your work and start working the same thing we did before, which is yarn over and insert your hook and pull the yarn and leave it open. Yarn over, insert your hook, pull the yarn and leave it open. So you're going to make 6 double crochets together like this. So you yarn over and pass through all of them once like that. Then you chain 1 and tighten it a bit, not so tight. Yarn over twice, 1 and 2. Turn your work, slip stitch, like this, chain 1, turn your work and start making your 6 double crochets in the same space here, and that will be all. Like that. And now after you slip stitch your 6 double crochets here, go inside any stitch here and just slip stitch like that. Then after chain 2, 1 and 2, turn your work and start making your double crochets on top of that stitches like this, and make sure at the end of that row you have to make 6 double crochets all together, and you will be done with this row. Then the next thing is just to attach your yarn and start another row. So we are done. Now the next thing we are doing is to attach another color of yarn. And I have 2 loops on my hook, then I'll just pass through those 2 loops like this and chain 1, then tighten my work. After chain 2, turn your work and start working in those stitches with double crochets, and make sure you have your 6 double crochets at the end. Then you chain 2, turn your work and make double crochets until you get a total of 14 rows again. Then I'll meet you and show you how to attach your work to your bag. Alright, so I'm done with my 14 rows, and this is how our work is looking. And the next thing you're going to do now is to attach your work on top of the other side like this. So put your work and attach it together like this. And as you're sewing them, make sure you're sewing them in the wrong side like this. So, and remember, the same thing you started with is the same thing you're going to do. Make sure you start from the middle of the second treble crochet on top of that single crochet like this, and as you're ending at the second treble crochet on the other side, because we are working on the shell and we are joining with a single crochet, but grab the loop from the back of this side and the front of the other side, like this, back and front of two different sides. The way I'm doing, that's how I'm joining them. So go ahead and do this and make sure you don't skip or miss any stitch, and make sure you stop at the second treble crochet in the shell of the other side, like this. Like that. So I did it at the wrong side, and this is the right side. You can see how neat and beautiful it is. So that's how to do it, and we will be done. So next I'll be putting these locks on it. You can put it if you desire, if not you can leave it the way it was. So to make this, you start with a chain, then make a double crochet of 7, turn your work and make double crochets, and when you reach to 4 rows, you start increasing with 2 double crochets at the end until you get a total of 7. And yeah, you now attach it like this. So this is the front, and this is what we are going to do, like this. Push it inside very well. Just open the lock, then push this inside like this. After pushing it inside very well, then you lock it. You just press it and you make sure it is tight, like that. So like that, it's tight now, it can't remove. So this is the front, and this will be our back. Okay, so go ahead and attach the back to the back of your bag, like this. So I'm going to attach it here, like this. So next I'll just attach it on the back with a slip knot, a slip stitch, sorry. Like this. Then start making single crochets like this on both sides, the same stitches, like this. And now here I want to work on the body. What I'll do is to grab inside here, like that, like this, and make my single crochets like that. Next, go inside here, again go inside here with a single crochet, then grab again something from the back, like that. And this is how you're going to join until you get to the end of your row. Here we are at the end of the row, and we have gone back to attach to the single crochets, like this. And this is the last stitch, like this, and you will be done. Then cut off your yarn, and yeah, you will be done. All right, so this is the front of the bag. Now we are now going to attach some hook here, this side of this one. So this is the front, and you're going to widen it. Like after widening it, then get the exactly space where it's supposed to be so that to match what, and push it inside like this. After pushing those irons inside, and make sure it is at the right space that you want it to be. All right, put it at the exact place where you want it to be. Then turn your work inside like this and press those irons now backwards like that, like this. Make sure they are tight and you'll be done. So it is simple like that. And now here we have our lock already, like that. And this will be all for today. Okay, so I'll say thank you so much for starting this video with me and ending it with me. I really appreciate you all. Thanks for support, and please, I would like you to suggest or to tell me what next will you want us, or would you like us to make together. And I'll say bye bye until we meet again in our next one. Love you all.